Thank you, Mr. Kiley. Ms. McBath, you're recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Chairwoman Fox and Ranking Member Scott. Thank you to those of you that are here as our witnesses today. I've read your testimonies. We've had a multiple of hearings on this issue of anti-Semitism on campuses, and I really do appreciate the chair's commitment to continuing to have these conversations. Thank you. During one of them, I brought up the Anti-Defamation League's most recent data from their annual audit of anti-Semitic incidents, and I shared alarming data about the frequency of these acts of hate. Last time this data was published, it translated to over 10 incidents a day, a disturbing amount that's truly in its own right. According to the newest data published just a few days ago, that number has now skyrocketed to 24 incidents per day, basically 1 per hour. This is absolutely heartbreaking and truly unacceptable, and it shows the depth of the work that we must continue to champion. Work like the President's national strategy to counter anti-Semitism and providing the support necessary to the Office of Civil Rights at the Department of Education. Increasing funding would truly ensure that the resources necessary are available so that we can look back a year from now and hopefully be able to say that we did not have the highest number of anti-Semitic incidents on record, but that is unfortunately not something that I've been able to do or see during my 5 years here serving on this committee. My community in metropolitan Atlanta, home to the largest Jewish community in the Deep South, is no stranger to any of these kinds of incidents. We see more hatred in our discourse and more violence in our communities than we've ever seen before. Time and time again, anti-Semitic vandalism and white supremacist symbols appear in our neighborhoods, in the districts that I represent. And we've stood together in condemning them. Now, I understand how important it is for all in our community to support one another, regardless of our faith, regardless of our ethnicity. Many people do not know that a large number of the supporters of the NAACP were Jewish or of communities' collective history and common interests. My father was branch president of the Illinois NAACP during the Civil Rights Movement. And I distinctly remember when our local Jewish community stood up to support us as we were on the front lines fighting for civil and human rights. And one community that was one of the first to voice support for those of us that were fighting on the front lines. And that had a very serious impact on me. A Jewish professor at Columbia served as NAACP chair in the early 1900s, and I am proud to carry on our long partnership in the fight against racism, hatred, and anti-Semitism. To know that your community stands with you in your greatest hour of need, it means absolutely everything. Mr. Shizer, do you know if Columbia is currently taking any steps to renew their strong legacy of interracial and interreligious connections on campus?
I will say this. I am moved by what you said, and I completely agree with it. Issues like racism and anti-Semitism are not partisan issues. They're American issues. And in that spirit, I know President Shafik has been emphasizing how important it is for us all to come together. And we may not agree. I mean, we absolutely should not agree on everything, but we need to treat each other with respect. And I think her leadership on that issue has been extremely important.
Well, thank you for that. So can you then please just talk a little bit about their importance and what building those connections and relationships actually looks like on campus?
Were you at? Yes, President.
Congresswoman, I completely agree with you, and I think one of the things I've said over and over is that anti-Semitism isn't a problem for Jewish people to solve. It's actually a problem for all of us, and you, I think, said it much better than I have ever said it. We are looking at how to invest more in interfaith dialogue at Columbia. We have a group, I have met with them, but I think at this particular moment, it merits further support in order to rebuild our community.
Well, thank you so much. I do appreciate all the efforts that I believe everyone in this room really is making. I truly believe in humanity. I truly believe in our ability to put our differences aside for the common good, and I hope that everyone in this room would find it a time such as now to do so. And I yield back.
Thank you, Ms.